Yo, what's good, Brody? Shit, appreciate you. Well, not stopping by the bridge. You fucking on the bridge. Appreciate you stopping by. For the second official Lucky Llama interview. So he's gonna jump right into it, man. Well, first of all, what's your name and where are you from?
What's going on, y'all? This is Cnote. I really came up in Concord, but then I was born in Brooklyn. And I moved here like 20 years ago. And I've been in the Concord, Charlotte area ever since.
All right, so let's start from the top. What was your childhood like?
Uh, it wasn't nothing crazy, nothing. It was pretty regular, standard childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the apartments right across the street from Concord Mills. So I had my homies out there. We was, playing football. We didn't have no basketball court. We was playing basketball with like the monkey bars. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's pretty standard. You know what I'm saying?
So you grew up playing sports like outside, that type of thing. Were you like involved with the community as a kid?
Not really.
Yeah.
I was doing like community type stuff. I don't know. Like I was going to Books a Million. They had this Yu-Gi-Oh thing that they did every Saturday where you could like go play Yu-Gi-Oh with a bunch of other people and everything
Mm.
like that. And then I was playing some computer games, some video games. Um, but nah, other than that, it wasn't really that much like community stuff going on in my
I
childhood.
feel that. Yeah, I was asking that because I know for myself growing up, we'd always be at like the YMCA, like the those type of places as kids. Wanted to see if you had any type of like life experiences like that.
I
Um,
was like in the Y after school program. Like
Say
I
me
was doing
too.
after school at the Y, and then I was doing some summer camps at the Y. So yeah.
Yeah, me too for sure. So what can you take me to the earliest entrepreneurial thought in your life? Like, what was the first time that you sat down and was like, all right, I have this idea and I want to make it shake.
Uh, I was selling candy in middle school,
Can you?
but it won't
Okay,
know like I won't like. Some people is like they was selling candy and they was like
making
really
a
getting
bag.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
making a
it
fucking
won't nothing
bag.
like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I would just come to school with some candy. I was selling like blow pops and shit, so I get a big bag of blow pops and sell them for like 50 cents, and I think I was paying like 15 cents
Was
per
it
blow pop in the bag type shit.
like were you making a lot of money off of it or not
Nah,
really?
yeah, like I was
Yeah.
saying, I wasn't making no money for real, but it was just like oh, I can get this for this price and I can sell it for that price.
Mm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the whole thought process, but it wasn't really like padding my pockets up, nothing like that.
I still feel like that's a really good early indication of just the entrepreneurial spirit because I wasn't doing that shit, in high
Yeah.
school. I wasn't even thinking like that. So like it is kind of cool to see like how even early on in your life, like you still had at least some form of like entrepreneurial spirit. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
Thank
that's
you.
pretty hard. Um so can you take me to the first time that you thought about the bridge? What the hell was that like?
Um so I actually had some homies, this was like 2016 or 2017, and I was putting together like a website, and then on the website it was supposed to be like a creative directory or like a creative index for everybody in Charlotte that kind of had something going on. So it was like I had like a section for the rappers, I had a section for videographers, and I had a section for like clothing designers. And it was basically just listing all of like those creatives in the city, and I was like trying to put together a little profile for each person just
Mm-hmm.
so that like say a rapper needed a videographer, instead of kind of going on Instagram and saying yo tag videographers everything, they can go on the website and kind of pick through all the videographers that were in the city, look through their profiles, see their portfolios and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
um and then we actually did probably like 2 or 3 interviews, I think. Through that, we were calling them like artist spotlights.
Mm-hmm.
Through that sort of that brand, and then we threw a show on UNCC's campus. I was a student there at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
so we did a show there as like the launch party for the website.
So
Um,
would you say, looking back, that that was the first bridge show?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't the bridge at the time. It was called
Mm.
Art Hub. So you know what I'm
Our hub,
saying.
yeah.
But that was just like it was kind of always the vision. Like you know what I'm saying. Like the bridge wasn't the first time I had a sort of idea of kind of creating something for the creatives, like creating some sort of like infrastructure type thing, you know what I'm saying? Or just some sort of like organized some sort of some sort of brand that kind of organized the creative community in the city.
To organize a creative community. Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you feel the need to do that? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of organizations that attempt to do the same thing but aren't as successful. So I kind of want to just pick your brain a little bit and see like what draws you to the scene, to the creative scene. Like why this? Why now?
Well, I just had a lot of homies that were into that. Everybody that I really came up with on like the tail end of middle school, going into high school, all got into their creative endeavors. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of friends that were producing, a lot of friends that were rapping. I even had some friends that were making clothes. And I don't know. I kind of gave it a shot, but I didn't give it a full. But I just knew that wasn't like.
The end
I'm not
all
a
be
super
all.
artistic person personally. You know what I'm saying? But being around all those people, being around all that creative energy, and it was kind of like. I wanted to kind of be a part, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to have something to offer to these people, and I wanted to be of some sort of like influence and not just be kicking it in the room with them while they're making their music and I'm just kind of
Just
soaking
sitting
up
there.
space. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to have some purpose around, really just started with my community of friends and then it kind of grew from there.
I feel that. No, that's hard as fuck, Brody. That's hard as fuck. Just to see how it's grown and how it continues to grow. Like there's literally no limit for the bridge. You feel me? So
Yeah.
that shit is really fire. So growing up, like, did you have any mentors or anybody that you looked at and was like, all right, this guy is doing something I kind of want to like emulate a little bit, or not really?
Well, I don't know if it's a big brother, little brother type of thing, but I just kind of always wanted to be like my bigger brother, like my big brother. And so he showed me what it was like to be an entrepreneur early. I can't even remember exactly how old I was. He was like 16 or 17, and I'm 5 years younger than him. So, you know what I'm saying? I was probably like 11 or 12. And he came around showing us some Adobe softwares that he was using to create websites for people. And he was
Oh,
like,
that's
yo,
tough.
I'm learning how to make websites, you know what I'm saying? And I got these companies, I got these people that are asking me to make their websites and I'm getting paid X amount and blah, blah, blah. And he was really trying to put us on, like, you know what I'm saying? Really trying to show it to us.
Younger, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually another thing that he did for me too. I just never got into it, but he put Fruity Loops on my computer. But it
Damn.
was kind of just like the sample version. And it was Fruity Loops at the time. It wasn't
Yeah.
FL, you know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
a
That was
long time
before,
ago.
yeah. Before they shortened it.
And so he was like, yeah, just play with this, see if you can kind of like, you know what I'm saying, have some fun with it, see if you can get into it. And if you can, then I'll put the full version. I'll get the full version for you. Because he was all into the torrenting and cracking softwares and everything like that. Like my brother's kind of a tech geek, you know what I'm saying? And so
I feel like that's a trait with older brothers.
yeah, facts, you know what I'm
The
saying?
older brothers be the nerds.
but yeah, so and then he was doing that with the websites, and then after that, my brother, he lived in Atlanta. And so we went to Atlanta one time, and he had this small little office space that he was using to fix iPhones, and he had a company for that called iDropped. And so it was just about fixing iPhone screens and everything like that. And so just him having that small little office space for himself, and it was in a real rugged building and everything, kind
But
of just like the
still,
Nota building. But
yeah,
yeah,
but
bro,
still, bro, he's
seeing
making it
that, it
work.
was
Yeah.
just extra inspirational. It was like, damn, this is like my brother's spot. That's not like where he lays his head at night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he has his own work office. I was like, that's hard, bro. And so I just kind of always wanted to be like that. And so yeah, that's probably gonna be my biggest mentor. Even though there wasn't a lot of direct mentorship, especially as I got older because he was in Atlanta. But
Yeah,
it
he's
was
older
just kind
too.
of
It's the age difference.
yeah. But
Yeah.
it was just always like that's what I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, like I said, I don't know if that's a big brother, little brother type thing, or if it was a genuine like
It gotta be. I think it
inspiration.
is.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I think it is, bro. Because that's what I tell my little brother. Like, as the younger brother, you have the advantage
yeah,
because you can see how your older brother fucked up and just try literally do whatever you can and not do that. And
exactly.
and if you're
Yeah.
blessed to have an older brother that actually like tries, you feel me? Like just all that knowledge is just right there that you can just hit up whenever
Yeah,
you want. Like
yeah,
that shit is
yeah, yeah.
priceless, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like
So
no, that's
I tried to
hard.
tap into that, try to take advantage of that a little bit as much as I could.
I feel it. It's kind of like he planted the seeds, like subconscious seeds,
Mm-hmm.
and they just grew over time. Kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that's what it sounds like.
I remember we because he was all into the websites and everything. So as we were doing the first project, we were kind of just always assuming that he would be the web developer for the project and everything. And he actually told me one time when we were taking a trip to Atlanta, and he told us, he was like, first of all, I'm not going to be a web developer, but prepare a 30-second pitch and then prepare a prepare a 30-second pitch, and then prepare a 1-minute pitch, and then prepare a 5-minute pitch. And then I want you to present all of those to me when you come to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And that was like the first time that I had to kind of get like real organized with the idea and with the vision, kind of, you know what I'm saying, put it on paper, make it make sense and everything like that. So that was like me putting together like a business plan and a business model, learning how to pitch and everything like that. And then when I was in school at UNCC, I spent a lot of time in entrepreneurial programs and I hosted a pitch competition there. So my whole time in college was about just entrepreneurship in general. And then as I was leaving college, it shifted into like the more creative entrepreneurship type of realm. But it's always been, you know what I'm saying, self-sufficiency. I see that as a form of liberation.
Same. I do
You know
too.
what I'm
And I'm
saying?
definitely glad you said that, because some people, I don't know, bro. I feel like some people just don't even have that in their mindset.
Yeah.
That could actually be a thing.
You know what I'm saying?
self-liberation,
Yeah,
like
right.
going and hunting and killing your food. Quote
Exactly.
unquote,
Nah,
like,
literally,
you
for
know?
sure.
So,
Exactly that, bro.
I just always been fascinated with that, because you know, the whole thing, like, nobody wants a job for real. Like, we're gonna do it if we have to, but in real life, with this short amount of time that we have on this planet, like, I'm not trying to spend a majority of it, you know, slaving away for somebody else that doesn't care about me. You know, if they cared about me, maybe
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
maybe I feel
But
a
nah,
little bit different.
I believe
But
in wage slavery.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like, I believe wage slavery is a thing that a lot of people are trapped into. You know what I'm saying? And that whole rat race idea, you know what I'm saying, where you kind of just get caught up in the system and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dog, I'm not staying on that plantation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, fuck that.
And they consequence was way worse than our consequence. So
Exactly. Like, we live in a great time period. Like, it's not the best, but I mean, it's better than some of the other ones that we've heard about or read about. But yeah, nah, that's fire. That's fire as fuck. So all right. What do you think was your biggest obstacle when you first started the bridge? Not necessarily when it started taking off, but when you first started it, the idea.
I think everybody's biggest obstacle is themselves and their doubts, and even some of the people around them that might not have full faith in what you're doing.
Was there people around you that was like doubting the bridge?
Yeah, for sure. I
Really?
mean, there was, so I guess there was just some people here and there. Like, I know I was telling one of the homies that I was gonna get a studio. He was like, "Are you sure that's what you really want to do?" You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make sure you really, really, really want to do that shit. And I don't know. Part of me feels like there is a little form of like, there's an installation of doubt in saying that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of questioning if somebody really wants to do something that they're kind of already said that they're committed on doing.
Facts.
You know
No,
what I'm
it
saying?
is. Especially like you said, when they already said they're going to do it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, are you sure? Like, you really got to want to do that. And it's like, dog, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll never forget, but like I said, this is kind of more regular. But when I first got the studio in Noda, it was actually a little worse than when we left Noda, the building. The building itself was a little worse. And I walked in with my pops. And there was like, obviously it was smelly all in there, you know what I'm saying? And then there was trash everywhere. Like, there were just mounds of trash on the floor and everything like that. And I was showing my dad my little room before there was anything in there. There was no equipment or anything in there. And he was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, what you gonna do with
And
this?
I'm like,
It's,
"Dad,
bro,
I gotta,
it's crazy you said that, because literally I be telling people the same thing. Like, people are never gonna see the idea you have in your head.
Right.
Like, that's just what it is, bro. Like, they're just not gonna see it. So it's like, you know, we're looking at this pile of trash or whatever, and you see a damn fully functioning studio with all this stuff and snacks and stuff, and then, you know, Pops just sees, you know, trash in the room. Like,
he's on some,
you know, like,
go back to school, bro.
Yeah, which is okay, you know.
Literally, like, just go back to school. Yeah, exactly. No, it's
that's
okay.
what dad's supposed to do, right?
It's okay, you know what I'm
check you or
saying?
whatever,
Yeah,
but
for sure. So, but it is an obstacle.
It is,
you know
for
what
sure.
I'm saying? Like, that is something that is gonna be seeded into your subconscious, to where now you're on your own thinking the same things, where it's like, damn, is this making sense? Like, is this worth it? You know what I'm saying? Especially when there's any sort of overhead. I think when there's an overhead with anything that you're doing, it's like, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make that monthly bill every time. And so it's not really no time to just kind of kick it or relax or anything like that, even though I did kind of fall into that as well, just as a form of like complacency and comfort, you know what I'm saying? But when I first got that studio, I remember thinking in my head, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I still don't have a lot, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have a lot of money. So it's like, okay, I'm spending $330 a month on this room. that means I'm spending $10 a day on this room.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means I need to be making it. I need to be making $20 a day at least. You know what I'm saying?
To
To
make
have
up the
this make
deficit.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then this was, like I said, when we very first opened the studio. And before when we first opened that studio, the whole bridge thing, before it was the bridge, it was supposed to be a podcast studio.
Yeah, I
And so we were
remember
doing
hearing that.
podcasting and interviewing and everything like that. And so unless you're renting that space out, the money's not going to come for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm in my head thinking $10 a day, bro, and we still got to get all the equipment, and we still got to get it furnished and everything like that. Like, we got to move, you know what I'm saying? And so anything with the overhead, you don't have time to waste
play
at
around
all.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you remember the moment that you knew the bridge was going to be successful? Or has that moment not come yet?
Well, I think the biggest thing about like foreseeing success is that you're kind of placing a little bit of like a cap or a limit on what your venture can evolve into. And so when I first got the studio and we was, you know what I'm saying, doing our thing and the money was coming in and I had all type of faces in there and everything like that, it's like, okay, what's next? Like that doesn't necessarily define success yet, you know what I'm saying? And then now we have this big old building, but now the overhead is like
A lot higher.
literally
Yeah.
20 times more,
A lot higher.
which
Yeah.
means the income has to be 25 times more. And so it's like some people will look and be like, damn, bro, you made it. This is success. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this, bro. You're successful. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dog,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? I still don't know. And then it's like, after this is fully funded and paying for itself or whatever, then it's like, okay, what's next? And then you get another building, and then you kind of have to start over with that same sort of like crawling to rent every month. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of, I think as long as you're always reinvesting in your dreams, success is kind of like
inevitable. Or
well, it's more so like you're on a treadmill running towards a piece of meat. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like the piece of meat's hanging on the end of the treadmill and you're just constantly running towards it type shit. But it's like, I don't know if you ever really get there. But as long as you're taking a step up every time, constantly reinvesting, constantly becoming bigger, having more of an impact on more people, then I guess at the end of the day, it just really depends on how you define success. Like I remember the homies was asking me when he first came here, he was like, yo, is this like surreal to you? When I got this building and I was in here. And I was like, but the surreal moments was really happening in Nota when I was like fully financially stable and secure and everything like that. But it's like after you kind of see that you can do some big shit, once you get to doing the big shit, it's not as surreal because it's like it's time to work, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So what do you think one mistake is that you made early on that taught you a valuable lesson?
I think I bit off a little more than I could chew in between the Noda studio and this building that I'm in right now. There probably should have been something in the middle that was like I said, just a little less overhead and everything like that, which I had some people telling me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna be able to manage this big ass building, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna cost you too much, and it's gonna be too much to manage and all this and that, blah blah blah. And there's some truth to that. And my brother did always tell me, like, don't scale too fast. That's the biggest mistake that a lot of people in business make, is they scale too fast, you know what I'm saying? They take too big of a next step. And so that's something that I probably could have like moved a little slower in the evolution. But I was excited, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't necessarily call it a regret or anything like that, because if I didn't take this big step and I took a smaller step, I would probably be like, damn, bro, like, I should have got that, you know what I'm saying? I should have did that. I should have got that space, because I mean, who's to say that I would even be able to find a space like this?
Like this again,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, if you see something you want, go get it as well. So that's kind of like the two sides of how to look at that. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just don't scale too fast. Don't scale too fast, and make sure nothing you're doing is super dependent on anybody else.
Super dependent on anybody else. Okay.
Yeah, like, I mean, unless like, I mean, even if it is like your blood or something like that, just still like make sure every step that you take, you can manage the whole load on yourself if you absolutely have to at any point in time. And then yeah, that's basically the two biggest things.
What is the proudest moment of your journey with the bridge?
Definitely the trips we were taking.
Oh yeah, those
For
were lit as
sure.
fuck.
Yeah,
Those were
I
lit as
think
fuck.
that's like the
Cue
most
the
proud thing.
clips.
In fact, not real. But yeah, bro, I think, you know what I'm saying, being able to be 20 deep in New York, you know what I'm saying, renting 2 cars, having a fat Airbnb, and then going to like Times Square and everything like that, and just kind of like on like a little bit of a selfish outlook on it. It was really cool to be able to show people things for their first time.
Facts,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And so like it was some people's first time ever on a plane.
Flying, yeah.
Yeah, like some people's first time in Times Square. Like just whenever somebody was ever like, yo, this is my first time doing this, that's like where I found some fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we're living
It
life,
is
bro. And so
cool,
life
yeah.
is all about experiences and everything. You know what I'm saying? And you grow significantly through experiences. And so being able to provide that for people, going to Atlanta in 2 sprinters to do a show, and then having people drive to Atlanta to see the
To
show
see
from
us,
Charlotte,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like being able to book cool artists and everything like that, like running into people like Baby Kid in the middle of the street, like I don't know, stuff like that. Like I know that lit a fire under some people's ass, you
To
know what I'm
continue working,
saying?
yeah,
Yeah,
nah,
like some
facts.
people is like seeing things and they're like, oh shit, we actually can do this, you know what I'm saying? So just the amount of inspiration I was able to instill into people and the amount of different places I was able to show people,
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely the proudest thing about everything that's going on.
The proudest moment. Damn. All right, Brody. In 5 years, what the hell is the bridge gonna be?
Um, I think in 5 years it's just about ownership. You know what I'm saying? And so right now there's a lease on this building where we're paying monthly, and so in 5 years we're gonna own the space, own our building. You know what I'm saying? And so it's gonna come with a lot more responsibility, as far as like renovation, as far as like keeping up with stuff like HVAC and plumbing and things of that nature. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just part of growing up. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's just in 5 years, there's just more ownership in the spaces that we work through. Um, as far as like the creative and the brand side of it, I just pray that we can sustain what's going on. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And so some people will reach new heights, and so some artists will be able to outgrow what we're able to offer them. But then hopefully there's just kind of like a new influx, or like almost like a new cohort of artists, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, in the underground
Yeah,
that
the
we'll
new
be able
gems,
to
yeah.
provide services for and provide, you know what I'm saying, just other experiences for. But yeah, as far as me personally and my role in the bridge in 5 years, there's got to be some sort of ownership.
It's tough, Brody. Well, like I said, appreciate you feel me, sitting down with me, having this discussion. The bridge is going absolutely fucking crazy, and we're all seeing it. So, you feel me? We just want to show you that love, give them flowers, you feel me?
All
Like,
right, I
this shit is
appreciate
going the
y'all.
fuck up.
Come
Facts.
on,
So just keep your
come
foot on the gas,
on.
bro. This shit gonna work
Man,
out.
just trying to make something shake.
Yo, we got Cnote from the bridge. Oh, fuck! Hold up. This little outro. Fuck. I know we got a little bit battery for his outro.